Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun, as always, is my brother and podcasting Reed.
It's time for a field fight. I've picked a field for the fight.
This is like an important field?
Nope, just a field where we could fight.
Is it going to be like...
I've invited no one, and I haven't dressed up. I'm not ready in any way other than being at the field for fighting.
Should I bring something like...
Just yourself to the field to fight.
Is it like a really important...
Nope,
place,
just a fight field,
time?
the side of the field. Thought we could fight in that field. That's the field fight. Fight field.
Powers or something? Are we
No,
gonna, like, fly
we'll
in
probably
the air?
just walk around a bit. Wear a jacket, I guess. It's like it's chilly.
It's nice of you to think about me in this time.
Let's get into it.
Ghostfacers! We face a ghost, when others will not, we're Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghostfacers! We face a nightmare, we face a dread! Ghostfacers! We face a faceless, we face a dead!
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing Season 5, Episode number 22, Swan Song.
This is it.
This is the end of the series.
Everything has been building to this moment.
I mean, that's true. That is very true. This episode aired May 13th, 2010.
Holy shit.
That date's important because...
It's when this episode aired.
Also, Supernatural Abandon All Hope from 2009 first aired on November 19th, 2009. Now, if you look at the calendar for 2010, 6 months from this episode is the third week of May, the week of May 17th. 5/22 episode of this season. This episode aired on May 13th, neatly within Lucifer's 6 month projection.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it's like in real
that,
time, it like...
Yeah, but they also know their schedule.
I know,
like
but it's cool, but that he says that and then it is.
Yes,
that.
I agree that is cool, but it's not like, holy shit, we did it.
No, I know,
not,
but I don't think anybody thinks about that.
No,
fact,
yes, I understand, yes.
which I think is kind of cool.
That is true.
Could take the wind into my goddamn sails.
I know, but that's like saying like, oh, like in the car there's a gun. This is a subtle reference to Dean using guns. You go like, ugh.
You know that 9 + 1 + 1 is 11?
Oh my god. You know, hellfire doesn't burn hot enough to open the gates to hell.
We're recording this on 9/11.
It's 9/11, baby.
I lost a lot of cookie guys that day.
Yeah, I ordered us a 9/11 cake.
It's just 2 tall sheet cakes.
Oh no. Richard.
We need to move on.
No.
We need to move on.
It has been 21 years though, so
nice.
we need to move on, you know.
It can drink now.
Yeah, cool. 9/11 can drink now. Sweet, I guess.
This episode was written by...
4 more years and it can rent a car.
Hey.
I don't know how many more years before it can get its own pilot's
I was
license.
just
but-
kidding. Oh, no.
I don't feel good about this.
This episode was written by...
I just can't help it anymore.
I know.
This
It's a
is your
sickness.
influence
It
on
is.
me. I used to just be the quiet lore guy.
Yeah. Now you're the whore.
Now I'm the loud whore guy. We're doing Whore of Babylon again, right?
No, I hope not. This episode was written by Eric Gerwitz.
Oh.
The teleplay is by Eric Kripke. So fortunately, at least somebody had a first draft.
Yeah.
It was directed by Steve Boyum.
It's not even that funny. It's just the way you said it.
And it was viewed by an estimated
12 million.
Secretly the best TV show ever.
Yeah.
It's like, besides like the finale of MASH, I guess.
Well, no, God, no. 12 million would still be low in the history of TV. Didn't the Friends finale have like 60 million viewers?
God, did it really? Oh my God, I have no idea. I don't know numbers. While you're looking up that, I will say that we've got a review.
Hey!
A review coming in from American Richard, which will come into play. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan. I've been listening to your podcast for, I think, about 2 months. Time is a blur. It's also a construct and it doesn't mean anything.
That's absolutely true.
And
It couldn't be more meaningless.
and I'm currently on season 4. Hey, almost caught up. Your show makes my hour of driving to and from work much less terrible. Oh God, I hope that's not hour each way. I hope that's like a combined total hour.
I don't know.
When I found your podcast, I thought the concept sounded fun. But what really made me take the plunge and listen was that one of you is named Richard. Yeah, low bar.
Such a low bar. Insane low bar.
Ironically, so does the other one.
Yeah.
I myself am also called Richard. I figured I owed it to a fellow dick to give it a shot, and I'm glad I did. You two are hilarious and often cause me to laugh out loud. In season 4, episode number 13, After School Special, Richard mistakenly said Gurk when referring to the character Dirk, and Reed said Gurk, the pickle man?
Yeah. That sounds like a joke I'd make.
Yep. I laughed for an uncomfortably long amount of time. Anyways, thanks for the show and keep up the good work. This will always be my favorite Supernatural rewatch podcast.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you very much.
The pickle man?
I mean, listen, that's a great joke. It's a great joke.
Surprised it didn't end up on your comedy album.
Oh, it will.
Did you find any information about the Friends finale?
I did, actually.
And?
52.5 million viewers. So I was close at 60.
Yeah, it's a pretty big jump. But
Yeah, I mean, closer than you thinking 12 million viewers would make you the biggest watched show in the history of television.
How many people have TVs? It's fine.
I think like 100 million people watch the Super Bowl every year.
Jesus. This football's doing all right, eh?
Yeah, I think it'll stick around. They'll get another couple seasons.
All right. Well, why don't we watch the promo for this week's episode?
Don't need to. I know what happens.
I mean, you could say that every week, though.
Huh.
Like, it's kind of the whole point of this podcast is we already know what happens.
Yeah, so why are we doing it? Maybe this is our Swan Song.
Stop pulling on the threads. You don't want to know what you'll find.
Oh, no. Okay, fine. I'll watch the promo.
Thank you. Thank you. Starts with the promo. There's nothing left.
Jesus.
I think you'll find an interesting song is in this.
I mean, first of all, that promo is just clips from the show.
Sorry.
That promo is just clips from the show.
It's
You can tell that they think the show's over,
I
but
had
also they give no hint about
nothing.
like here we go.
I'm saying yes.
It's plan time. No cliffhangery thing about the episode at all.
I had to look 3 times to make sure that it was the right promo because I was like, is this just an extended of last week?
I'm gonna throw it out there. This is the worst one yet.
I mean, they were like, that song last week ruled.
What?
It worked last week.
It ain't broke.
Yeah, I did. Look, we finally did a good one. I think it was the song. I think it was the whole death thing. Let's just make it about death
It's
again.
so insane.
It's all about death. It makes no sense at all.
That's a bad promo.
I know. I
don't know if they were like, we got to play this whole episode close to the vest or something, but it's like, we don't even get at the end of all of that, we don't even get I'm here to say yes. And then
know.
Some shit to be like, well, we got to see how it.
Insane. Insane. Bad promo.
Yeah, bad promo. Definitely.
Well, with that, why don't we get to international titles?
Sure.
So the phrase "Swan Song" is a modern jargon referring to the final of somebody's final work or performance or the ending of a story.
Okay.
The Swan Song is also the name of the record label created by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So double thing. Everybody got it right. I mean, it's a
Sure.
easy translation, I suppose.
Oh, there was no
No. I mean, Germany had Swan's Song, but I mean, yeah, it's basically
Sure.
everybody got it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a fun segment.
Fuck you. I can't make them change the names.
Glad we did this.
It'll get better. I swear. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You have the nerve to complain about my segments.
Oh, God. Yeah. Fuck. That's this, isn't it? Oh, God.
A segment I have not planned for today.
And they don't eat in this episode.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
I think other people have prepared for this segment more than you have.
Almost certainly.
Yeah. Featured music from this episode as he goes to try to figure out what to do.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Talked a lot of fucking shit about this episode and the lore. Featured music from this episode: "Rock of Ages" by Def Leppard.
Sure.
And of course, it's the last episode of the season, baby. You got to put it in there. "Carry On My Wayward Son."
Well, yes, of course.
Got to be in there. TV Guide describes this episode as he's thinking really hard now. He's still trying to figure
I'm going to figure it out.
You know, see, a sandwich is when like 3 guys are in the same room.
I think I figured it out.
Of course he did. All right. So the 5th season concludes with the apocalypse, which forces Sam and Dean to make heart-shattering decisions that will alter their lives forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the judge of whether or not it's heart-shattering. Don't tell me what to think, TV Guide.
I think he meant for them, not.
Oh, right. Sorry. Gotcha.
You fucking settle down.
Understood. Sorry.
But before we can actually talk about this episode, we have to open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real-world lore.
We get to open up Dad's journal. Let's see what the lore says about Satan.
Whoa, have we not done Satan?
Well, if you'll remember, when we talked about Lucifer at the very start of the season, I said that the terms Lucifer and Satan for a very long time were not interchangeable and that they mean different things.
Sure,
and they come from different places.
Sure.
So we've come full circle.
So we're talking about the spice, Satan.
Yeah, baby. So they have different origins. They were merged into a single myth later. So the first appearance of the name or the word Satan is in the Hebrew Bible. It's a Hebrew word that I cannot pronounce, and I apologize.
No, I want you to try. I think it's all in the accent.
I wouldn't even know what it's.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm allowed to do that.
Man, we're like 9/11 jokes, like Jewish accents I haven't earned.
Ah, damn! There's no chicks in this episode.
Richie. Well, yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but Richie kind of kicks Lucifer's ass. Don't worry, I'll open the cage.
I've got access to a few.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Richie's problematic.
What a dark turn for Richie, somehow.
No, don't worry. It's just kids in there.
Oh, even darker.
Oh, is that a problem?
Good Lord.
They're not people till they're 18. It's fine.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
I don't know. You didn't keep talking. I had to say something.
That's not how that works.
This is on you.
The first appearance of the Hebrew word Satan, which might be pronounced anywhere from like Satan to Shatan to like who knows, is a noun. It means like accuser or adversary. And that noun is connected to a verb that means like to oppose or to obstruct. The word on its own, though, is generic. It's not a name. It just means accuser. You just be like, someone accuses you of something, you go like, they're being a Satan. You're being a Satan. This whole courtroom's full of Satans.
There it is.
Yeah. The word also...
You want the Satan?
You can't handle the Satan. The word also appears as Ha-Satan or Ha-Shatan or however you pronounce it, which means the accuser, which is still not a title or a name, but it is more specific.
Show me the Satan. Yeah, I needed one final one.
Tight.
Yeah.
So there's no mention of Satan, of a Satan, in the book of Genesis, in the story of Adam and Eve.
Sure.
There's only a talking snake. That's it.
Fair.
Leave that aside. The first instance of the word seems to Sorry.
Was Adam a parcel tongue?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you had to go try to get into Eve's Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, we did it.
Are we a bad show?
I mean, to the Canadian Podcast Awards, we're about to find out.
Yeah, God, what if we win? What kind of example are we setting?
It's on now.
Are we leaving the world better than we found it?
Were we supposed to do that?
I mean, we're supposed to not do that.
Oh. Hey, that's future people's problem.
True. So the first instance that seems to conflate the term Satan with a singular literal being is in the book of Numbers, in which there is described an angel of Yahweh who stood in the road as a Satan against someone.
Oh, that's like a slur?
No. Just saying that, like, he was there, like an actual, like, angel, a representative of Yahweh, of God, was there in the road to stand as an accuser against whoever this person was that I don't remember. In the book of Samuel, Yahweh...
Samuel? We'll get that next season.
Hang on. There's more Sam stuff even in this segment, if you can believe it. In the book of Samuel, Yahweh sends the angel of Yahweh to cause a plague. And then that same story is repeated in a different book of the Hebrew Bible, but they replace the term angel of Yahweh with just the term Satan.
Okay.
So it's also at this point important to remember that in Judaism, there is not a specific belief in hell or in like a devil or a single like malevolent being or anything like that. So the word Satan would be used just literally as accuser and things like that. And over time, though, it was also used kind of like metaphorically to refer to like a tendency towards evil or things like that. So it did start taking on like a kind of like those things we start ascribing to that, but it was still far from the idea of like horns, tail, Satan. Over time, Satan became increasingly personified, eventually being considered an angel of death. And that angel of death had the name Samael.
Whoa.
Boom, baby. I rest my case. No further questions.
This whole courtroom's out of order.
So in the New Testament, there are references to Satan. Now, you also have to keep in mind that we are translating things. And every time we translate things, something gets lost in the translation or whatever. That's part of what happens with the word Satan. Jesus faces Satan or his temptations many times. So does that mean he's just facing random accusers? Is he facing one being? Is like all of these things start kind of getting confused and mushed up and all of that sort of thing. In some interpretations of Revelations, Satan is not necessarily Lucifer, but rather, remember when we talked about Revelations, we talked about how there's that one particular reading of Revelations where it's all about like the Roman Empire. Yeah. So in that interpretation, Satan is not Lucifer himself, but a supernaturally powerful ruler of the Roman Empire.
Well, I saw a thing even today on TikTok because somebody was trying to say that like Amazon using like hand scanning.
I watched that. Yeah. That guy, oh man. If it wasn't that so many people believed him, it would be incredible comedy.
Yes, but there was a guy
where he's also like, here's indisputable proof Jesus existed. They found a piece of cloth. That's Jesus's. That's not really what the word proof
That's not how
means.
Science works.
That's not what proof is.
No, and but there was a guy who basically was like breaking it down, but he was saying, he was like, yeah, that hand scanning thing is specifically talking about the Roman Empire and stuff.
Interestingly enough, there is some sort of, I don't fully understand it, but there's some sort of like numerological component to it where like the number 666 has something to do with like the numerical value of the name Nero in Hebrew,
Jesus.
like the Emperor Nero.
Okay.
You know,
Like maybe the symbol, like it looks like that or something. Maybe
I don't know if I don't know if it's about how it looks or how you pronounce it or something about it is supposed to make 666.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure it's just as flimsy as every other piece of numerology. You know, but Nero, you know, that kind of famous story of like Rome burns and he fiddles and that sort of thing is like would be very evocative of the end times as well. It's actually, though, it's Christianity that sort of syncretizes. We talked about religious syncretism. You see how this segment fucking pulls pieces together all through the season. You think I'm just pulling shit out of my ass?
Or just the whole season's about religion. And so
or I planned it all. Including today's sandwich segment. Definitely planned
Definitely
it.
Fully planned and prepared.
You cut that bit out earlier where I said I hadn't, right?
Yeah, man.
Did you also cut out all the 9/11 stuff?
No, that needs to stay.
Can
we
I
record this on 9/11. It has to be in there. It would be disingenuous if we didn't.
Can I just say I'm sorry for making a joke about 9/11 being old enough to get its pilot's license?
Nice.
I
don't regret it.
I mean, I don't know that I regret it. I just regret saying it out loud, I think. I regret that it will be known that
Do you know
I
that,
made
like,
the joke.
going back and talking about it makes it worse?
This is easier to cut out.
No.
Uh-oh.
This makes it much harder.
Shit.
Also, uncertainty makes things less funny.
Oh. So, Christianity is the thing that brings together a bunch of different ideas and terms and sort of conflates them into one thing.
Sure.
When we talked about Lucifer, we talked about how the name Lucifer comes from like the term for Venus, and it's about like the morning star and light and stuff like that. The term Beelzebub comes from the Canaanite, the Baal, who was sort of like a fallen deity.
Okay.
There's the term like Diablo, which comes from the Greek.
Hell yeah.
The Greek diabolos, which means like, if you break down the word, it means like to hurl across, which basically means like to argue or to counter.
Oh.
And so like to work against,
That's cool.
to oppose. That's diabolos. All of these things get brought together, and Satan get brought together into one kind of concept eventually.
Yeah.
And not only that, because of that, they also become one entity. That Lucifer is the fallen one, and we call him Satan or the devil or Diablo or whatever. And there's a line in Revelations that refers to Satan as that ancient serpent, and people went, serpent, there's a one at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
And so then like that got retconned.
Of course.
All of these things.
Look, it's good writing.
Or it's actually bad writing, but it's they got like real that's too inside. I was gonna say they had a real Jeff Johns approach to it.
Wrong podcast. There is 7 layers to hell.
Oh my God. But they sort of bring all of these things together eventually. So like instead of in the book of Job, a random Satan testing him, like basically betting Yahweh that this guy would lose his faith.
Yeah.
Now it becomes like, well, it's either rewritten so it looks like just only God is testing his faith. No one else is involved. Or Satan, the Satan, is tempting him. So all of these things evolve slowly over time, and Satan goes from just being a generic word for accuser into being like
the devil, Satan, Lucifer,
the end boss.
Yeah.
Which in the Bible apparently he gets cast into a lake of fire, and that seems to end him.
Oh,
so it kind of feels like that'd be a thing he would be able to handle, but I guess it's a special fire.
Holy fire.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in Revelations, they say that someone says, "Hey, ass butt," and
we'll get there.
That's it.
Oh, look at that, Satan,
baby.
Tasty. Well, with that, why don't we get into the final episode of season 5.
Holy shit.
We, of course, carry on. Oh, God, I got to do that for the. Anyways.
I got to remember how long.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like 22 seconds.
This is all good content to keep in.
Leave this all in.
Yeah. I'm not cutting shit out. The road so far. We've got hunting, just like general hunting throughout the series.
Yeah, we got general hunting. We got Gabriel talking about you like learn your place and
Lucifer
and the rings.
Sam
and
being the vessel.
all sorts of stuff.
We got Lisa. We got
Hell yeah.
It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa.
Don't make it weird.
The 4 horsemen, of course.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah.
Death. Oh,
I love Death.
And
God,
it's
he's so
great.
good.
Yeah, so much so that it was the only thing in the promo.
Yeah, do you know what? Let's just promote the episode that already came out.
Yeah. You loved Death in the previous episode? Yeah, sure, he's in this one.
Go back and watch that one.
No, I swear he's in this one. We showed him in the promo.
Don't worry about next week.
And of course, Sam saying yes.
Can I just take a quick pause here?
You sure can.
Because I yelled over you when you said how many people watched this, and I'm not sure we ever went back and actually read out what the viewer number was.
We
for
did.
This. Oh, I didn't hear it.
2.84 million viewers.
That's decent.
Yeah. Decent nuts. Weird energy today. It's not even the morning like it usually is.
No, it's just everything's weird.
I ran 20 kilometers yesterday.
I live.
And you have breathing issues.
I have breathing issues.
So I feel like you're the
I have
oxygen to your brain.
Yeah. Oh no. I have so much work to do this
There's
week.
so much lore. I know you've got like 10 what we heard.
I have so many.
Anyways,
things to do.
this is for no one.
You know what? Let's just talk about it.
Let's get into the episode.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
Oh. Oh, 9/11?
No.
So, in this episode, we've got 3 segments that are all narrated by Chuck Shirley. Really 4 segments, but
Yeah.
As a side story about the history of the Impala.
Yeah. It kind of feels like a Doughboys cold open.
I kind of love it.
I really like this first one. When we get to the last one, I have thoughts.
Okay, well, we'll get there. I like them all. So, the story begins with a scene from an automotive plant. That automotive plant is obviously creating the Impala.
Yeah, but they talk about like when the millionth car comes off the line and stuff like that, and they go a few months later this other one rolled off and no one gave a shit about it, but they should have, because it's the most important object in the universe.
Yes, well, it's the most important car. You know what? Object sounds better.
Yeah.
Look, all writing is just choosing the best word.
You make that sound like that's not impossible. All design is putting things in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah, but never mind.
Including words. So, the next scene shows a man named Sal Moriarty purchasing the brand new Impala for $3,999, which I thought was interesting to bring up.
Yeah, God, I wish.
Also, 999 upside down, 666.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that's irrelevant, but.
Or even a thing.
I
Yeah.
saw it and I said it. When Sal died, the Impala was then put up for sale at Rainbow Motors, who we may remember from a previous episode, in Lawrence, Kansas. And Chuck says that a young Marine, John Winthrop.
We get some clips from the previous episode.
Yeah. Bought her on impulse after a little advice from a friend.
Yeah.
Wink. And he goes on to say that this is where the story began. And this is where it ends.
Yeah.
And we then go to Sam and Dean in current time.
Yeah.
So, all out of options, Dean reluctantly agrees on letting Sam be the host for Lucifer.
Yeah, well, Sam's like, you're going to let me say yes. And Dean's like, no, I don't let you do anything. You're an overgrown man.
So that
He
line.
goes, "You're a grown man." Well, overgrown.
So
which is-
Jensen was messing around on the set and ad-libbed that line, overgrown, to try to make Jared laugh, but the ad-lib ended up making it into the final cut.
amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, he says that he's like, you like a little bit of what we had gotten from the previous episode, which was like when Bobby at the end finishes and he's like, look, he's a hero. Like we have to trust him. Like,
Yeah.
this is sort of like directly coming off of that and him going like, yeah. He's like,
And Dean
Bobby's
vocalizes that, and then he also says, like, "I'm not gonna lie to you though, like this seems like a really bad idea.
But he's like, if
But if
like,
that's what you want to do, I've got your back."
yeah, if the decision is either to not believe in you or believe in you, I'm just gonna believe in you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go kick Satan's ass.
So, and that is a cold open.
Yeah.
We then cut to remembering what Lucifer said to Dean in the future. They head and go to locate him. We go right to Detroit.
Well, yeah, because Bobby is like, I'm trying to find out like where Lucifer might be. It's like something's happening in like Tampa, something's happening here, and he goes, "There's a cold front in Detroit," and Dean goes, "It's there," and Bobby's like, "This isn't like this is like kind of the least of the omens,"
Yeah.
and Dean goes, "It's there."
Trust me. Yeah. And they head to Detroit.
Yeah.
And they drive to Detroit with Cass sleeping in the back of the Impala.
Yeah. Sam or something goes like, "Oh, you sleeping like an angel."
And Dean goes, or no, Dean says that, and Sam goes, "Angels don't sleep,"
Oh, right.
which is a reminder that he doesn't have his powers.
Yeah.
Sam then makes Dean promise that if things don't go as planned, he will make a life for himself with Lisa.
Yeah. Which this scene is a little sweaty.
Do you think?
Its existence isn't. This is the sort of scene I'd expect in an episode like this.
Sure.
I think Jared's a little sweaty in this scene.
Sure.
Like, you could really feel the weight of having to say the lines. It's an effortful performance in this scene, I would say.
It might not be the last.
I also have thoughts.
So, Sam talking to Dean in the car, he refers to jumping into the hole with Lucifer possessing him as a triple Lindy. So, this is a reference to the 80s hit film Back to School from 1986 starring Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, gonna jump into the hole.
Can't get no respect.
No respect from the devil. The triple Lindy is an impossible drive performed by the main character at a dive meet, which helps the team to win the meet, saving them from what would have otherwise been a crushing defeat, like a pool diving thing. So,
and he says, like, "I'm going to do this. You have to promise me this one thing." And Sam says, "Promise me you won't try and, like, bring me back."
yeah. And
He's like, "You can't, like, tamper with the cage. Like, it's too risky.
Poke at it, yeah.
Don't try and get me back in any way." And Dean's like, "Well, of course I'm going to try and get you back." And he's like,
That's the one
It's
thing
like
I was
the
looking for.
goddamn point of this is not to do that.
Yeah, keep him. And he's like, your trip in this cage is gonna make my like hell look amazing. Like,
Yes.
he's like, this is gonna be so much worse for you. He's like, you're gonna be in a cage with the devil.
But Sam's like, "Don't do that." And he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "You go find Lisa, and if she's dumb enough to let you in her house,
Which is a good line.
just like go to football games and have barbecues and just like live a normal life."
Yeah. The thing that Dean always wanted for Sam.
Yeah.
Sam's now putting
And
it
I
on
mean,
Dean.
God, how nice is it for Dean that there's just like a woman he
God.
had sex with 10 years ago is so obsessed with his peen that she's just, her entire life's on hold.
Yeah.
And he can just drop in whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
That's how good in bed Dean Winchester is, ladies.
I would assume. So they arrive in Detroit. Sam says his goodbyes to Bobby and Cass.
Yeah.
Which
I like his goodbye to Cass.
yeah.
He like goes to shake his hand. I forget what he says, and Cass goes like, "No, this is gonna go horribly," or something. He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm supposed to lie."
Yeah.
I like that. I think
do.
that's a funny moment.
It's a great
It's really good.
one. And then
Bobby says, like, "Fight like hell, don't give an
Yeah,
inch," or whatever. Like this is a good scene.
it is. I mean, fucking Robert Singer. I mean,
It's
Jesus.
again, this kind of
Bobby
feels
Singer.
a little bit like last episode where like, because the pestilence thing, we're like in it right at the beginning. And that's where we are in this episode. We're still at the beginning of the episode, but it's like, this is it. The plan.
Yeah.
We're doing it now. It's not like we kill 20 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, we're not
to
like
get
fighting
there.
through demons to get there.
It's just like we're here. They also had like packed a bunch of demon blood and stuff for Sam.
Sam was like, "Can you not look while I do this?"
Yeah.
And he has to consume all of those gallons of blood.
Yeah.
Which, before we get to it, the demon blood Sam drinks must somehow instantly get absorbed into his body and soul in order for him to take out the demons guarding Lucifer and to be strong enough for them to be able to contain both Lucifer and fight to control his own mind. He drinks 4 gallons of blood, which the human stomach can only hold 32 ounces of fluid at once.
Yeah.
Ladies, which is
Jesus,
only,
what the fuck, man?
which is only 1/4 of a gallon.
What the fuck?
See, it's not possible. It's got to be a better way.
Sam! You are gonna finish your dessert, and you are gonna like it!
It's the supernatural sandwich segment, baby.
I thought he made a final one.
Don't worry. There's a final outro.
Oh, okay.
Is what got made.
Okay. So,
Um,
what's the sandwich this week?
It's the sandwich segment. Don't be so reductive, you clod.
Oh, even though last week you defended that everything was a sandwich?
Even
Oh! Fool me once.
I'm not going to repeat it. You know what I said.
Oh, okay.
You heard me. No. This last sandwich segment,
Yeah.
we've talked about all sorts of sandwiches.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun here. We've had some good times.
Someone could say that the sandwiches were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we've talked about different proteins, different buns,
Oh.
different toppings.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about, you know, your favorite sandwiches. We talked about the things you could gorge. But you know what we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about a sandwich's blood.
Wait.
By that, I mean sauce.
You cut open a sandwich and it leaks
Does
out.
it not bleed?
I sandwich, therefore I eat.
Yeah. So today's supernatural sandwich segment,
That you fully prepared for.
if you had to drink an uncomfortable amount of sauce,
4 gallons of sauce.
what is like the best sandwich sauce? That could be most versatile, your favorite, best tasting, whatever. We're talking about a sauce you'd put on a sandwich.
I mean, the like easy answer is mayo.
Interesting.
I mean, those are 2 different questions, though. Like, which one could I drink
Sure.
4 gallons of?
Well, I mean, the answer is you can't drink 4 gallons of anything.
That's true. But if I had to drink 1/4 of a gallon,
I'm back.
you also don't have to say I'm back if I'm gonna.
Got a
edit
little
that out.
fuzzy there for a bit.
Gotta ride that high.
It does feel pretty good, actually. Listen, I get it.
Jesus Christ. I think like this was a question that I was confronted with last night, which was
Ed, are you fucking kidding me?
hold on.
How did this leak? How did this get out? How could they have known?
It's liquid, it always leaks.
Good Lord.
Which was I asked for a side of mayo when I was getting some French fries last night.
Sure.
And they were like,
Not a
"Well,
sandwich."
What kind of hold on.
Go on. I'm listening.
And they asked what type of mayo did I want, and they
Right.
were like, "Do you want garlic mayo? Do you want regular mayo? Do you want wasabi mayo?"
Sure.
And I was like, "Well, shit! Like that's a hard because it's like you can just say mayo, and that works, but Garlic mayo is great, and I don't know if I'm ever confronted with a situation where I'm like, don't want that.
Do you think that has the versatility to
Well, then
like
that's the
broadly
problem.
apply to sandwiches? It might. Mayo is pretty.
And garlic works on everything. you
Garlic
know?
works on it. That might be a great
Yeah,
catch-all kind of sauce
Yeah,
condiment.
yeah. I don't know if I want to drink a quarter gallon of it, but
Right.
It's pretty versatile, and it's probably the condiment that I use the most.
Interesting.
I make a lot of aiolis. I put mayo on for French fries. I use mayo on all sandwiches for sure. I like on burgers. Like when I order like a McDonald's hamburger, I ask for no ketchup, no mustard, extra mayo. Like
God, you're fun to go to a drive-thru with. Excuse me?
I might get that tonight, actually. Anyways, I fucking ran 20 kilometers. I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
Your Honor.
I mean, you ran 19.8.
You son of a bitch. Fuck you.
That's interesting. I mean, garlic mayo might take it in terms of like just like kind of applies to like chicken, beef, whatever. You could almost put it with anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a hot take one out there.
Mustard?
It's not necessarily one that I use frequently,
Yeah.
but I also think it can work on the most things.
Ooh, hot sauce?
Teriyaki sauce.
Oh. That's a thing I don't like.
You throw fucking teriyaki sauce.
You do love teriyaki.
It works on beef. It works on chicken. It works on like grilled like chicken breast. It also works on like a patty, like or like a fried chicken or something like that. It works on fish if you get like a salmon burger or some shit like that. It like I'm gonna throw out there. I think the best sandwich sauce might be teriyaki.
I just don't like teriyaki.
What?
I know, like
really?
Yeah.
Like at all?
No, not really.
Huh?
Yeah, I would rather soy
More like
sauce.
teriyaki.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's enough of a reason to not want to eat it. Just to call it teriyaki.
Worth it.
But I think my secondary option would be a hot sauce. Because I think like that's a thing that I put on probably the second
Just
most
sort of
things.
like your regular like a buffalo sauce, like a Frank's or something like that.
If I can use as a catch-all terms, I'm just gonna say all hot sauces, but
Right.
because I mean
Hashtag not all hot sauce.
no, I've got. I mean, some hot sauces are like the 9/11 of hot sauces. They're so bad.
Well, I mean, most sauces aren't actually hot enough to
you can't not do
the
it.
sauce truther.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but like, listen, we're recording this on 9/11. I'm supposed to not
yeah.
constantly invoke a thing that's traumatic for a bunch of people.
You listen to yourself. You sound stupid right
It's
now.
been 21 years.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
like I currently
Jesus.
have, I think, probably close to like 25 to 30 bottles of hot sauce in my fridge right now.
You do. A lot of those are from
Our
our experiment.
but I've listened to Dr.
Didn't mean
DC
for
podcast.
that to sound as fake as it did. It was just eating.
It is what you think it is.
It's exactly what you think it is.
It's us. It's food. But it's I've like really gotten into hot sauces, I think, in the last couple of years. So that's probably my second, like, if not worth, like, it's close.
I'm gonna throw one other one in there, and I
Okay.
know that you know that I love this one,
Yeah.
and it's a burger at Dairy Queen has made me realize how much I love it. It's
Barbecue?
just fucking steak sauce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's not really barbecue sauce as much as it is steak sauce.
No, it is fully steak sauce.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
HP, like Houses of Parliament steak sauce.
Because it's called, like, the Texas, what is it called?
It's called the Steakhouse.
The steakhouse, that's the thing.
Burger.
Because you expect it to be barbecue sauce, but then when you eat it, you're like, oh, I guess that makes more sense that this is steak sauce.
Yeah, it's just
It's such a specific taste.
a very specific taste. It's funny, like I so rarely use steak sauce on steak.
I would never, yeah.
There's also a place in town, a Mexican place that makes a michelada,
Oh.
and they put steak sauce in it.
Really?
And I've described it so often as a meat Caesar.
Oh, yes, you have. A meat sir, yeah. Yes.
Because it's I love the taste of steak sauce. I know for a fact it does not work across as many proteins as you would like.
Sure.
But I really love steak sauce, and that can make like a sandwich like a roast beef sandwich
Sure.
or like a burger or something like that. That could really make it stand out.
Hell
But
yeah.
so for me, it's between steak sauce and teriyaki
So
sauce.
it's just such very specific and kind of similar in a weird way sauces.
I'm a creature of habit,
Yeah.
but also worldwide.
All right. That was the sandwich segment.
That was it. What a strong note for us to go out on.
Let's hear our swan song.
Oh my God, that swan.
Sammy! That swan's a swan song.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. But season 5 is done, so now this segment must end. We've come a long way from where it began, and I'll tell you all about it in the 7th season.
It's foreboding.
Yeah, that I think is a reference to a hint that I got that there was a segment in the works that I'm not even a part of for season 7.
So much like a podcast that we make is that the fans do something without our
I
involvement.
really appreciate also bringing in my love for Fast and Furious into that.
Well, it came out last week. I think we talked about because we both sang that song and Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've said this before. I think season 5's done. Supernatural sandwich segment's gonna take a little break.
Hiatus.
It's gonna
It's
gonna
on
go
a
to
hunting trip.
It's gonna go to Lisa's house. It's gonna watch some football. It's gonna
Oh.
lead a normal life for a bit.
Wow.
But when we need it, it'll come back.
Look, you know that the sandwich segment can't live a life like that for too long.
No, that's not. It wasn't born to be happy.
Yeah, it's got an incredible dick, but I think I'm losing it.
Yeah. Where were we? Sam drank a bunch of blood.
9/11, I think.
Yeah. Perfect. Exactly how I planned it.
I mean, of course. All right, so wow. Sam and Dean then allow themselves to be caught by
Salmon Dean. That'd be good with teriyaki. You
just a salmon with
you just did a joke completely visually.
yeah. It's
Will
for
not
you.
translate.
No, it's for you.
That was amazing.
Is it just
I'm not going to describe it either.
just a salmon with a huge dick.
Good lord.
So, Sam and Dean, then what were you gonna say?
I had a vile joke.
What could it be? I'll cut it out. Don't worry.
If Sam and Dean came in my mouth, then I'd have a real tartar problem. It's like a tartar sauce.
No, I
tooth
get. Yeah.
tartar.
No, it works. Might be the worst episode we've ever made. Good, it ends this way,
Yeah, we don't deserve a 6th season.
or an award.
No, we'll take that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we deserve that.
Yeah.
Everyone will deserve that. So they've Sam and Dean allow themselves to be caught by demons and brought to Lucifer.
Yeah.
The story then picks up again with Chuck explaining the Impala is like any other car, except that it has some features that other cars don't have.
Right.
The guns.
Yeah. Land to air missiles.
Yeah.
An ejector seat.
The
Oil
scene-
slick.
The scene shows Sam and Dean opening up their weapons cache
Yeah.
in the trunk. Chuck notes that those details aren't important, though. He goes on to explain that...
Thanks for spending time on it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw out here right now, my recurring gripe with these things is that Chuck is a bad writer.
I mean, yes, that
No, but I mean like a bad writer.
comes up.
Ugh, I know, but it's just...
That comes up.
I know, but what I'm saying is I think it's even worse than joking, like than it being intentional.
Okay.
The writing of his writing is really bad.
Is it?
Yes.
He goes to explain that what makes the car uniquely theirs is the life that Sam and Dean have shared in that.
Yeah.
Clips of their childhood in the car play while Chuck narrates. The clips show a young Sam cramming an army man into the trash ashtray
Yeah.
on the back driver's side door. and then Dean shoving Legos into the vents, which can still be heard rattling when the heat turns
And we
on.
see them as kids like carving their initials into the floorboard or the whatever.
Yeah. It's into the floorboard. Yeah. The scene then cuts to a clip from an early episode when the Impala was totaled in a semi-wreck that almost killed Dean from Devil's Trap.
Yeah.
And Chuck continues to narrate, stating that when Dean completely rebuilt it, he made sure to keep those details, though.
Now, does that mean he just didn't remove those things? Or does that mean he was like, I got to go and get an army man, put an army man in the thing?
It's a very good question. I don't.
Because that's what I thought of.
That's very funny.
Where he was like, something's not right. And they just cut to him jamming Legos down the...
What was it? Red, blue, and yellow? Fuck, I can't remember.
Damn
was it a 6er and a 4?
Yeah.
But
one of those piece of shit thin ones.
Yeah. Oh, they're two stuck together. I can't fucking pull that apart.
Never
I saw a
gonna
thing on TikTok the other day. That was a guy. It was like man news, and it was just a guy oiling his fingers up and then pulling them apart.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
It was good. Because it's the blemishes that make her beautiful.
Right.
After demonstrating, we then cut back to Sam and with Lucifer.
I think I also realized in this moment that like we haven't seen Lucifer in an episode for
it's been like
is it been like more than that, I think.
Wow.
I think it's been like 8 episodes.
Wow.
We haven't seen Lucifer.
Yeah, and he does not look good.
No, like I like the progress on the burning through the vessel sort of thing. I actually kind of wished it was a little more.
I mean, I'm sure that it was just from like an effect standpoint. Yeah,
totally. But like, there was a part of me that was like, it'd be neat if it was like if he just looked more kind of like burned.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure if they made it today, it would be.
Yeah.
But he
our problematic character fave, because he's so good. He really like as soon as he turns around, he owns the scene.
Yes,
and having Sam and Dean there, and that constant, he's still even in this moment is like still doing that thing of like, I don't lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm the good guy, but like that thing he's been playing the whole time, and the threat level is way up here. Sam's like, I want to say yes, and he's like, you're serious? And like, you like that's genuine. Like,
well, and
all of these reactions, even though he was the one that said like, you will say yes.
Yeah.
In this moment, he's like, oh, you wait, really?
Yeah.
Like, he plays so many kind of contradictory things so well. And this scene fucking crushes.
Totally. Sam demonstrates his enhanced powers now to kill Demon in the room.
Yeah, they fucking have like Q flashes in their heads.
Yeah. He and Lucifer's just like, oh, like you juiced up.
Yeah.
And
me likey.
Yeah. And Sam consents for Lucifer to possess his body.
Yeah. Well, he says he's there to do that. He keeps saying, like, do you hear me? I'm going to say yes or whatever. And
it is then that Lucifer reveals that he knows that the Horseman's ring form the keys to his cage.
He knows.
Yeah.
No, he knows.
And that he is wary of the boy's plan to trick him inside of it.
But there, again, this thing that I love about his portrayal is he's like, mano-a-mano wrestling match, eh? Me, you, Sam. If you win, we end up in the cage. If I win, I win.
Yeah.
He's like, I like it.
Yeah, I love
He's just like, go on, do your plan.
Yeah. Especially because like
it's
Dean's
so
looking
good.
and he's just like, well, we should not do this now. And Sam's just
yeah,
like,
this is obviously
I'm
bad.
here. Like, he's gonna let me leave now. Like, we may as well. Like,
this is it. This is the shot.
We're here. We can't pull out now.
And I just saw Hamilton, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
Because I'm helpless.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Lucifer then misquotes the lyrics to the Charlie Daniels song Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yeah.
When he tells Sam, a fiddle of gold against your soul says I'm better than you.
Yeah.
The original line of the song is actually I'll bet a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you. But
yeah.
It's basically the same idea. And it makes more sense with this moment, I think. But
yeah, I do like that.
Nevertheless, he agrees.
I do kind of like I like the idea in this scene that, like, by him saying that, it's like a cool reference, but it's also this, like, reinforcing the idea that somehow or other, maybe in the way that like we had that episode with the jazz musician or whatever.
Yeah.
But word has got out that like Lucifer is a little bit of a gambling man.
Yeah.
That the idea of deals for demons and stuff like that like almost comes from somewhere. Like I'm overthinking it, obviously, but like it almost kind of implies that that's why these things kind of happen, is because the devil himself likes it.
Yeah.
You know?
I do like that.
And I kind of enjoy that idea.
Well, and what's interesting is that now, like, he is agreeing to possess Sam,
Yeah.
which is interesting, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like that, he's like, okay, I'll do it. Like, you've convinced me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because that's basically what he told Sam what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he'll let him try to retain control of his body.
Yeah.
Lucifer then enters Sam.
Yeah. So Sam says yes. Blinding light. Cass and Bobby even see it from the street. And when we kind of come to, Sam's lying on the ground. Dean gets up, takes out the rings, throws them against the wall, and they kind of do this like magnet sort of stick to the wall.
Yeah.
Dean says this incantation, and the wall, like, it looks like it's being like pulled out by the things.
Yeah.
Really cool effect.
Yeah, it looked great. And then Sam starts like walking towards the pit.
Yeah.
And it looks
He's like, well, he gets up and Dean's like, you got to go. And he's like, Dean. And he's like, you got to go, Sammy. And like all this stuff. And he gets to the edge. And he turns around and he goes, messing with you.
Yeah.
It's been me the whole time.
Yeah. He closes the portal, puts the key into his pocket, and quickly disappears.
Yeah. Great little ending shot of Dean, like, kind of just being like, well, but,
And he does say that he reminds Dean that he's like, I told you this would happen in Detroit. Oh, fuck. I mean, that, I love that.
it's so fucked up.
Now we go to Lucifer reveling in his new vessel. He's looking into a broken mirror and addressing Sam because he's like, you can feel him sort of fighting the earth.
He's in some sort of lair.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a broken mirror, and that's the device they use to. It's like Gollum looking at himself in the pool, you know, like that's kind of the thing that's going on here.
And Sam is still fighting him from the inside.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
right now,
I think it's a good portrayal.
and we said it before when we did the Croatoan
yeah.
episode. Jared playing Lucifer, I like.
Yeah. He's doing good in
At
this.
least I think that's what I said in that episode. who knows? But I like him in this one.
Yeah, he does a good job.
And, you know, because when he's Sam in the reflection, he's doing this, like, huffy, like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Whatever. But him as Lucifer, I enjoy, which frustrates me later in the episode when I feel like he doesn't give anything.
Interesting.
But in this scene, I really like him, and he's saying, like, you know, they're having this talk, and he's like, Sammy, it's you know, it's gonna be fine.
We're made for each other.
We're made for each other. We're two halves of one whole.
Well, actually,
put
what
together.
he says is we're MFEO, and the acronym means made for each other.
Is that what that means?
Which is such a weird thing to say.
Has anyone ever said that?
I have no idea. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
That feels like a thing that no one has ever said ever.
Motherfucking Earth Organization.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
my Nature Conservancy, not for profit.
But it's like cool.
Yeah, but we're like badass.
He tells Sam that he only wants the best for him. And even offers to spare Dean after the world is destroyed.
Yeah.
He even would bring his parents back.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to, like, he's like, this could be a good thing.
Yeah.
He's like, we could be doing good shit together. Like, this could be fun. Like, and in a show of goodwill, he brings several people from Sam's past, including a former teacher of his,
Yeah.
prom date, and tells Sam that
But they're all
possessed.
They're all demons, right? They're standing there.
Yeah.
He goes like, "This was Azazel's fucking thing manipulating you. I didn't do this. This is."
So a funny thing about this group, when Lucifer is showing Sam all of the people in his life who really were agents of Azazel watching over him, he refers to Sam's prom date, Rachel.
Did they already talk about a prom date for him?
So Dean in the episode with the djinn, it's a made up premise, but they talk about a real thing that happened
Right.
in that, which is that it's said that Dean slept with Sam's prom date, Rachel, on the night of the prom.
Jesus, Dean.
Which not only did he...
Which, by the logic the show itself has set up,
Yeah.
means that Rachel has been haunted ever since by that experience. And she's just waiting for him to knock on her front door.
That's right.
Maybe she's told all her friends. If he ever showed up again, they'd be like, Dean?
The Dean?
The Dean?
It's just a demons talking to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
It's a group of demons being like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I should try
Take
to...
his demon knife.
Yeah. Jesus.
But he then...
Do you think the demon equivalent of step on my throat is pour salt down my throat?
Yeah. Won't kill me, but
I'm
it'll
not proud.
feel good.
I'm not proud. I love it.
He then offers Sam revenge on these demons.
Yeah.
And we cut away outside with Dean meeting back with Bobby and Castiel.
Yeah, Dean's like, we got to do something, and Cass is like, there's nothing to do. And even Bobby's like...
Welling up, and he's like, this is
Bobby
it.
has a line that is so close to a line from Return of the King.
Really?
Where he's like, there never was much hope. And I was like, almost finished the line. And it's like, because then Gandalf goes like, only a fool's hope, or whatever.
I bet that was probably intentional.
Maybe? I mean, it's not like a reference or anything, but I obviously thought of it because I'm a huge fucking nerd.
This show also loved Lord of the Rings. So.
True. But yeah, when he says like, there was never much hope, it's like, that's the first place I went. It was like, that I was picturing Sam carrying Frodo and shit like that. Yeah.
By that I mean Dean.
But I like Bobby's delivery of that, and he goes, we tried, but it's the apocalypse.
Well,
Like,
yeah, and on screens in the background.
It's the apocalypse, and we were three guys and an angel with no powers.
Yeah.
Like what?
What did we expect?
The fact that we got this far, you know.
Yeah. On screens in the background, we're seeing natural disasters happening.
I do love how like everything has taken place in America, and then they just go like, Hong Kong's been wiped out, blah blah blah, and it's like the world is so incidental to to like
America.
Yeah, it'll happen in Detroit,
and
not fucking like Judea.
Yeah.
Not like
no.
Yeah,
and then the
not
rest
like
of the
Rome.
world,
Just pick. Any of these places, like there's no significance, there's no artifact he needed from the Vatican. There's no, like, it's like, no, I just need this, like, field in Ohio. That's fine.
Yeah. A few things to talk about with this point of the episode. So, Dean refers to Castiel as Bukowski after he suggests that they consume copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah,
and want
Charles
to die.
Bukowski, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Was famous for writing novels and poetry dealing with alcoholism, death, and other depressing subjects. He's like the sincere version of your comedy.
I'm kind of complimented.
Yeah. You're the Bukowski of comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Bukaki of sandwich
There it is. I was
segments.
waiting for it. I was like, what's the cum reference here?
We got there.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, everybody listening. I mean, I'm not really, but
I was going to say, I'm like,
felt like the thing to say.
I'm like, you didn't make it a 9/11 thing, so there's still time.
No, I'm okay. I'm all right. I think I'm tapped out. I might do like a Pentagon joke or something, but I think I'm done with the towers.
Sure. So, when Bobby and Castiel are watching the news footage reporting worldwide earthquakes, the first shot showing a freeway on-ramp and overpass collapsing with dozens of vehicles on it is actually a scene from Dante's Peak from 1997. The movie.
That's amazing.
Isn't that awesome?
I love the idea that maybe even in universe, it's also just that like 3 TVs are playing the news and one TV is playing Dante's Peak.
Just happened to line up perfectly.
Would be really funny, too.
I do like that.
Yeah.
And then finally, Dean asks Castiel to, at one point, when Armageddon will take place. And
Right.
Castiel says he doesn't know. Armageddon is not an event. It's a place. The apocalypse is an event.
Yeah.
The English word for Armageddon comes from the Hebrew Har Megiddo, meaning Mount of Megiddo. Today, it has been renamed Tel Megiddo and is an important archaeological site.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Anyways,
I was gonna try and make a fucking Armageddon movie joke, and I just
don't want to close my eyes.
I missed a thing, and so I couldn't. Do it.
Hey, we did it! You know what didn't get missed? It was Two Towers.
Jesus,
Sorry,
you didn't have to do that. It's also occurring to me that like there are people who were like born after that happened who are now probably adults listening to us.
Wow. I'm going to jump through a window.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I don't like that. Why would you say that?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm just trying to grapple with the fact that this thing has become very abstract to me, but it's probably very real to more people.
That's better not to
I think
dwell.
I'm just feeling very guilty about the jokes.
Probably should stop dwelling on it. It makes it much less funny.
Oh,
So we return to Samifer.
I don't love that ship name.
Lucis Sam? What?
I love a Lucis Sam. Yeah. Hell yeah.
After killing all of the demons, Lucifer asks him if he enjoyed it.
Yeah. Are we having any fun yet? Yeah.
And then we cut away.
Yeah.
And we enter the third Chuck segment about the Impala.
Yeah.
Chuck talks about Sam and Dean's life on the road outside of hunting jobs, doing whatever they wanted. The scenes briefly show Chuck's examples. They earn money through odd jobs and hustling. There's even like a line where it's like Sam didn't really like it at first, but now he sort of was like,
yeah, he wanted
shark.
honest work, but now he pool sharks like his brother.
That's right, yeah.
Sometimes they'd even get a week off between jobs.
They drive thousands of miles to attend events like concerts or sports. Sometimes they park the Impala, sit on the hood, and stargaze for hours in silence.
Yeah.
The story concludes with a scene where Sam and Dean are sleeping on the Impala and Chuck saying that. Sure, maybe they never really had a roof or four walls, but they never, in fact, were homeless.
I mean, that one sentence hurts me so much. So you're doing this like first person narrator thing, and we already know that Chuck has inserted himself in the book.
Yeah.
But as a character, were the books always first person narrated by Chuck? Or was it just supposed to be that Sam and Dean met Chuck, who then says, you know what I mean? So,
let's
keep
talk
in
about it
mind,
at the end.
he's writing about this. It's a first person book. And then he goes like, sure, they didn't blah, 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 which is a very casual way of speaking. He goes, but they weren't, in fact, homeless. It was like, so now you're going to pivot to be like a fucking better narrator than just like a guy having a cup. Pick a lane. He's the worst fictional writer in any piece of fiction, I think.
I've never had a problem with the lines.
It was driving me nuts.
It's just words.
This is hitting a little too close to home. So we're working on a lot of design stuff right now where I really need people to understand that like you can't just be colors and movement. You have to actually say things.
I haven't been working, so I don't know.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't bring work into this. You're just kind of getting at a thing that's sort of bugging me a little bit.
In Chuck's voiceover, he does say to the boys that they drive specifically 2 days for a Jayhawks game. So the Jayhawk is the mascot of the University of Kansas. The main campus is
I was going to ask
Lawrence,
what the Jayhawks were.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So knowing that Lucifer will try to seek out Michael for their final battle, they call Chuck to get the exact setting for the fight.
Yeah, Chuck picks up and says, "Hello, Madam
Mistress Magda."
Yeah.
Which actually might be a reference to Mary Magdalene.
Oh, sure.
A disciple of Jesus Christ in the New Testament that some believe to be a prostitute or even the wife of Jesus. A theory.
Oh, that's so much more fucked up.
Famous by the Book of the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown.
I didn't even think of that. Of course, that's what it's referencing.
Yeah. And we find out that the setting for the fight is noon at Stull Cemetery in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah.
Which is a really important location, and I'll tell you why.
What? You're going to tell us why Lawrence, Kansas is
why
important?
Why Stull Cemetery is important. If you fucking let me get to it. Just because you're feeling spicy, don't point it at me. I didn't do anything.
I mean, listen, you're the guy that picked mayo. You know I like spice. Steak sauce, teriyaki.
Yeah, teriyaki, the whitest Asian ingredient possible.
Dude, shut the fuck up, man.
So, Stull Cemetery is an actual place about 5 miles west of Lawrence, Kansas. It has been rumored that in the past, black masses were performed in the chapel ruins, and on Halloween night, a demon or a devil sat in a tree inside the cemetery and answers questions about your future, which is interesting.
Cool.
Eric Kripke,
Road trip.
Eric Kripke said in a featurette for season 1 that he wanted Lawrence, Kansas to be the home of the boys because he was fascinated with the stories surrounding Stull Cemetery.
Interesting.
And he wanted the place to be part of the pilot plot, actually.
Okay.
It didn't work out, to his great disappointment, but what he didn't know at the time was that he would eventually end his version of Sam and Dean's story on that very cemetery, making the whole thing sort of come full circle.
Well, that's fun.
Also, the time of the fight, high noon, meaning 12 midday on the dot. What?
I was trying to do the Wild West, like. Yeah, shut up. Yours was better. Whatever. I'll be over here if you need me.
High noon has both literary and political significance. It is a variant of the phrase high time, which means right on time or almost overdue.
Okay.
Usage of which began in the Middle Ages, when high in that context meant notable or important. High Noon is also the title of a Western released around the start of the Cold War in 1952, about a decent man who makes a decision to stay and fight even though no one else will stand with him, and it could mean his death. It is, as it is used in modern jargon, high noon typically means the time when an important fight or showdown, either literal or metaphorical, is set to happen, even if it isn't actually happening at midday.
Right.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Look at that. So we now cut to the cemetery. Lucifer is seen in the cemetery when Michael, who now possesses Adam, arrives.
Yeah.
This episode fucking trucks, by the way. Like,
totally. Pacing of this episode is so fast.
it feels like
Very exciting.
when I was reading the notes for this, I was like, it's not that many notes, but so much happens at the same time.
It's a very fast episode. Even by the time this episode ends, I was like, is this a shorter episode?
I know, and it's not.
Yeah.
When Lucifer tries to dissuade him from fighting, Michael, although he seriously considers it for a moment, regretfully tells him that he must do so because God wishes it. You got feelings.
I do have feelings. Okay. I really like this showdown.
Yeah.
And I like the show's aesthetic, and I know why things are the way they are.
Sure.
But in that future episode, the Croatoan one, I liked Lucifer Sam in like the suit. I liked that there was a little bit of an idea of like occasion to the end of the world. And the way that Lucifer and Michael talk in this scene is, he goes, like, can you believe it's already here? And he goes, no, not really. He was like, hardly feels real. It's like, it's good to see. It's good to see you too. It's like, we have to do this. They talk about destiny. They talk about the plan. They talk about all of these things. And they're standing around in fucking jeans and like shirts, and like the way like Adam walks, like his jeans are baggy. And like, there's a part of me that's like,
You wish there was more pageantry to it?
Well, and also just to show maybe like that, like, Lucifer kind of owning Sam. It's like, Sammy's, doesn't have his personality in his clothes. Like,
Sure.
We've been prepping for this for thousands of years. Just something about like this big final thing, like no one's even watching. It's not like there's like some demons and some angels and they're like, here it is. Like, it's just, I don't know, something about like, I like the scene, but something about it feels like underwhelming. I'm conflicted because like I don't feel that way when I don't watch it and go like, I wish this was a big action moment. That's not what I mean. but I do mean that I feel like it just feels like, so here, good. You know what I mean? Like, instead of like, there's no like pomp to it. Like, a schoolyard fight has more pomp to it. Everyone knows it's like the flagpole, 3:00, and they kind of gather, or they make the space, and it doesn't feel like anyone is doing that. It doesn't feel like no one says like, hey, like a mile out, like everyone's been cleared out, or like, you know what I mean? There's no kind of sense of like, here we go, it's happening, we're ready, blah blah blah. It just kind of feels like they're just like in a field, casual clothes, be like, so we're gonna kill each other now.
I mean, I think that's kind of part of it, though, because I think that neither of them really wants to do this. Like, it feels like they're not bringing significance to it because it's not something that they want. Neither of them want to happen.
I suppose. Yeah, fair enough.
I think that's where I sort of come from it. But but before they get underway,
it might just be that I don't like Adam's acting.
We'll get there.
And I'm trying to write it off as something else.
I think in this moment it actually doesn't bother me, but it will in a moment.
Yeah.
Before they get underway, though, Dean, Castiel, and Bobby arrive on scene.
Yeah, so Dean shows up.
He puts a tape into his cassette deck.
I do want to say, just before Dean shows up, the last kind of exchange they have is like Lucifer is saying, like, why are we doing this? He made us. He made me. So he made me how I am. And then I'm punished for it. Why don't the two of us just not do what he wants?
Yeah.
And then, you know, fuck him. Why do we have to kill each other for him?
Yeah.
I like that. I liked that when he was talking to Gabriel. I like that in that thing when he's talking to Sam. It's like, I've never lied to you or whatever. You know, like, we've seen Lucifer do horrible things. But I also like this, like, fully justified, you know, he's not doing like a let evil reign kind of monologue. He's just saying like, yeah, I'm fucking angry, and yeah, I'm taking it out. People are gonna suffer because I've been fucked over. But like, he's so self-righteous about it. I like that, and I think Jared does a great job in that moment of of portraying that.
100%. I really really like that. So he. The tape that Dean loads into his cassette deck is labeled with Kim Manner's signature on it, and the line "kick it in the ass."
Oh,
no! I know. When I read that today, I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, that's so.
I know. But this is where the song starts playing.
Yeah.
The problem with this song, though...
You and I went to the same place.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's The Offspring.
The Offspring have ruined this song for me. I fucking hate that song by The Offspring. I hate any of the jokey songs from The Offspring.
Right.
And so it sucks that they took that. But
it's a... it's a Def Leppard song.
Yeah.
What has 7 arms and sucks?
Def Leppard. Yeah. Another interesting note is that it's a 12-hour drive from Detroit to Lawrence, Kansas. Now, theoretically, this was the next day at noon, but...
yeah, and they were the evening before. They weren't...
Sure.
And the way Dean drives.
Oh, that's true. Lisa.
Whoa.
Dean then says... he gets out of the car and says to Sam, we need to talk. And Lucifer, he's looking at Lucifer, and Lucifer's just like...
He says, even for you, this is a whole new mountain of stupid.
Yeah.
And Dean goes, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Sam.
I know. Oh, I love that.
Which I really like.
Great line. And
then Michael is like, you have no right to be here. You're not the vessel anymore. And he goes, Adam, if you're in there, I am so sorry.
And that kind of gets me.
Oh, totally.
Like, he's... From this moment on,
because Dean couldn't go back and save him, and totally. I love that,
which is slightly undercut by the next moment, though.
Well, yes, 100%. I also had that thought.
Yeah,
but
it kind of works from the comedy standpoint. Yeah.
But Dean says, "I'm so sorry." Then Michael's like, "Adam's not here right now," and it's like, "Well, so you are a dick." And,
angels are dicks.
But. Yeah, and then Dean goes, I'm coming for you next, but first I need 5 minutes with him.
Which, great line.
And that's when we get quick like whip around. Bobby and Cass are also there. Dean didn't drive all night by himself, baby. He brought friends. And while he was distracting, they got in position, and we got
Castiel's
we
most
get-
famous line.
maybe his most famous line in the entire show.
I've got it on a coffee cup.
Yeah, he goes, "Hey, ass butt," and throws a Molotov cocktail full of holy oil at Michael and burns him up.
Fucking my favorite. One of my favorite moments. The first time I saw this,
Oh, I died.
it's such a good fucking line. It's so insane.
I love it. I don't always love when like shows do the referential thing, but I do love Dean being like ass butt.
Yeah. And he's just like,
It's like
yeah. I fucking love it so much. It's
and a really good effect on Michael, like the visuals of how it's burning and like that shit looked amazing. So
obsessed.
good.
Lucifer outraged at Castiel's
Yeah,
reactions.
he's like, did you just
Kill my
Molotov
brother?
my brother
Which is like, he's also your brother. But
with but I mean I think the archangels are like brothers and the angels are like bros, you know, like it's different.
sure, yeah. I guess when you get that many siblings,
Yeah.
it's like you're like farther down the line.
Yeah. Well, because you know, when they met in that previous episode, he's like Castiel, right? Like they kind of
Yeah.
passingly aware,
Sure,
you know.
yeah.
But he's like, I'm the only one that dicks with Michael, and he snaps, and Castiel explodes.
In a great effect.
Great effect.
And it splats all over Bobby.
yeah,
Like the amount of shock that you would have to be for it to be Bobby at that moment.
yeah, totally.
He then throws Dean onto the Impala,
Yeah,
and then he turns and snaps Bobby's neck after he's shot with a revolver.
yeah. Is that the Colt? Is it the Colt that Bobby's
you
got?
know
Because it's
what?
like very thin. It kind of looked like it.
Maybe.
It made me think that it was. Yeah, Bobby shoots Lucifer a couple times with the Colt.
Makes sense if it
Does
would
the
be,
hand
yeah.
motion, breaks
Snap.
Bobby's
Kills Bobby.
neck. He dies. Dean gives it like a no, and Lucifer's like, "Oh yes,
Yeah.
Sammy's in here. He's gonna feel your fucking bones
He's
break."
like, I tried to be nice. I tried to
Yeah.
do this the nice way. Now you're going to die.
And Jared is still crushing this performance.
Yeah.
he's so good as Lucifer. It
You really
kind
forget that it's Sam, honestly.
of go like, should Sam have gone bad a lot
I-
earlier?
We'll talk about it next season, but it's like, yeah, like I forget that it's Sam. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it is Lucifer.
And that is the thing that I think ultimately lets me down a little bit elsewhere in this scene. I haven't talked about it yet, but when the car is driving up, before this whole interaction takes place, when Dean is driving in, he's
Yeah.
put the tape in the deck and he's
Yeah.
driving in. We get these couple of close-up shots of both Michael and Lucifer, and they're both very obviously looking at nothing.
Yeah.
And it made me think like it's just blank expressions. It's just like, look over there. They're, you know, like there's
Yeah.
no reaction. They're not giving anything in those shots. And on one hand, you go like, well, they're waiting to see what happens. But on the other hand, you go like, if Mark Pellegrino was in that scene, he'd give you something.
Yeah.
He'd see the car pull up and he'd either like smirk or he'd kind of like, there'd be like an eye
Yeah,
thing or
yeah.
something. And both of them, the guy playing Michael / Adam, the guy, Jared,
Yeah.
they're both just giving nothing, just stone faced, be like, well, for this shot, we need you to look here. It's like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And then we get some of this bit and it's really good. And then, you know, there's always this extra piece where it's like, you're good here. And then in one random shot, it'll be like, you didn't do anything there. And it's always in those like kind of pickups or the coverage shots. It's like, you still have to act when it's not your line.
It's reacting.
You know, like
Yeah,
that's the piece that's missing for me from both of them that really drags this down. Even when they're talking to each other, I feel like some of the deliveries are pretty good, but then you look at the other one and they kind of go like, they're just like,
Yeah. I mean, that's
like
partly
fucking bobbleheads hearing lines happen to them.
partly like you kind of have to blame direction too, I think.
I mean, yes, but also you're fucking actors.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. I think
it's
It's never bothered me before. I've never really noticed it.
I just I
'Cause
think
it's such a quick response.
I think it's also compounded on my thing of like, well, this isn't very like ceremonial or anything.
Sure.
It's like, and also you're dead-eyed. So it's like, do any of us actually care about this fucking fight?
I don't think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dean now repeatedly tries to appeal to Sam to overpower Lucifer.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think at this point, you know, Dean's not even necessarily thinking Sam's going to get control back, but we want Sam to hear him. He's just saying like, I'm here, Sammy. I'm not going to leave you.
Every single
I'm here
time
for you.
I almost cry.
Because that's the thing when Dean is like talking to Bobby and he's like, there was never much hope. He's like, I'm not going to let Sam die alone.
Yeah.
If that's the only
God.
purpose I serve
Yeah.
in going to this place, it's that I will be there to watch Sam die. And so I think in this moment, I actually don't think he's even like trying to get Sam to get control back. I think he wants him to know like, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Jesus Christ.
It's you and me to the end of the line.
Fuck. Every time this scene fucking rips my heart out.
Jensen's amazing in this.
It's so heartbreaking. Like we were watching it downstairs before he showed up and I was welling up. Like
I don't well up.
I can't.
Jensen is great, undeniable.
Yeah.
I like the moment. It doesn't get at me.
It fucking rips.
I
me
fucking
apart.
wept at the end of fucking Luca, which I watched the other day.
Oh
but
my god! I know. I know.
I couldn't.
I know. It's insane.
Yeah.
But we can't. We can't. It's not what this is.
No.
Similar though.
No.
But yeah, he responds by severely beating him until he's barely conscious.
We get a real wind up. This will be the final punch. And then a glint off the car. Here's the bit I like.
Well, hold on. Before we talk about this,
Sure.
sorry, I've got a couple things that I need to bring
sorry.
up. So,
you do it.
Jensen Ackles is told on a panel once that when his real life brother Josh watched the scene where Lucifer beats up Dean, he had to stand up and walk off because he was so mad.
Oh,
because he just like had never seen his because they did such a good job with the effect and
well,
the filming.
Prosthetics, like whatever
And the
they've
filming,
done.
like
yeah.
he was just he couldn't watch it. It was too upsetting.
Yeah, sure.
Also, while filming the scene in the graveyard after Dean gets beaten up, Jensen Ackles says that he began to get emotional because it was such an intense scene.
Yeah.
But the tears began to dissolve the glue of the prosthetic swollen eye.
Oh.
And it made his eye actually burn really badly, but they still had to go a while for filming and he had to suffer through the entire thing.
Oh, jeez Louise.
So if you see his eyes, like they're fucked up because of that.
Because there's like glue in them.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
The amount that Jensen Ackles has to suffer on this show is crazy.
I love that though.
Yeah. But yes, he's pressed up by Dean against the side of the Impala, ready to deliver the final blow, and he catches the sight of a plastic army man in the ashtray.
And up until this point, all of Chuck's narration has been a little bit kind of like maudlin, and then you go like, man, this car is so fucking important.
Yes!
Literally that like there's a glint of light off the car and it catches Lucifer's eye and he looks, then he looks in and he sees the army man wedged in the ashtray. And then we get this fucking like clip show.
Yeah.
To no music, but just like
the sound of wind.
And just it's just like
perfect choice, by
different
the way.
scenes.
The wind is the perfect choice.
It's if anything was close to getting me in this episode, it's this.
Because it's like we've gone through 5 seasons.
That's
the
just
car
it.
has been part of this the whole time.
We see them, we see the car, we see, their little baby faces, we see them like after the fucking
It's
bank
been a
heist thing.
long road without you, my friend.
Family.
There's also a moment like in the previous
see-
Chuck statement, which is interesting though, because there's a line where it says like, yeah, they added all this shit to this Impala and kept all of these details, these like important details.
Yeah.
But he's like, Lucifer didn't know or give a shit about any of that. So it's like the one oversight that Lucifer had, which is like, family.
it's that like, which is a very classic trope, like.
I mean, it's Voldemort, yeah.
It's, Voldemort doesn't care about love. Like Sauron doesn't think friendship can, like all of these things always.
It's the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, it comes back to that. But that moment, all these kind of clips, and then they kind of, they speed up, and it just ends with this like big extended like hug from a previous episode, and then like like the pupils and shit go, and then Sammy lets go, and he kind of backs up, and Dean's all fucking messed up and looks at him, and he goes, "It's all right, Dean, it's me."
And
And
then he switches, and now it's Sam telling Dean that everything's gonna be okay.
yeah, and he's like, "I've got him," and you're like, "Look, for how long?
I know.
How long?
Move, yeah."
And he does, actually. Kudos, actually, to the direction on this, because like a lot of shows would be like, "I've got him," and then they'd stand for 3 minutes, go, "I always wanted to tell you were the best brother." He doesn't do any of that shit. He's like, "I've got him." He gets out the
key.
rings, the key. He throws it on the ground. He does the incantation. It opens this giant hole in the ground, and he starts kind of, he kind of has a look. Dean has a look. He goes like, "No," and he starts moving towards it, and then Michael comes back.
Yeah, and he's just like, "No, this can't be how this works."
He's like, "This doesn't." Sam, he knows Sam's in control. He goes like, "Sam, this isn't it. I have to kill my brother. It's my destiny."
Yeah.
And Sam's like, "You're going to have to fucking make me." And
this is the scene where Michael, this is where Adam, whatever, it's really bad acting. I had never really noticed it before.
Sorry. Yes.
But it was so bad.
Sam.
No, I need to do it. I need to fight. I need to kill my brother. It's so bad.
Yeah. But Sam goes to take the Nestea plunge.
Holy shit. What a reference.
And then,
God, that's exactly what that is.
yeah, Michael comes in and grabs him. Sam grabs him back, and he throws them both into the cage.
Yeah, which means that Lucifer, fucking Michael, and Sam are together in the cage.
Yeah.
Dean watches the sight in despair of losing all of his loved ones. Castiel then reappears.
Yeah.
Basically, with just like you said there was a lot of like sites, whatever the swipes.
Oh, well, when we come back after the cage closes,
Yeah.
there's a big blinding light. And we see Dean from kind of far away.
Yeah.
Crossfade to a bit closer.
Crossfades. That's
Crossfade to a bit closer. Crossfade to a bit closer. We get it.
Yeah. But then Castiel reappears.
Yeah.
And tells a very confused Dean that he was resurrected by God and promoted with new powers.
Yeah, Dean's like, "You're back," and he's like, "I'm better," and he heals. We were joking that when he says "I'm better," he should have come in on like a skateboard.
I'm radical now.
Nice. It's very funny. He goes over to Bobby.
Badass deal.
Yeah, badass deal. Oh, fuck yeah. Ass butt deal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But he heals Dean's wounds.
Yeah. And then brings Bobby back.
Resurrects fucking Bobby. And then we cut to Chuck narrating that all endings are hard.
Yeah. This is the bit that like really fucking bugs me. I know what is happening here. It's a winky thing about writing and the writers and the show and the finale and the blah, 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 blah. But imagine that you are reading the book in the universe.
I know.
You're reading Swan Song. You get to the end chapter. It goes like, "It's hard to write an ending. Fans don't like it. Blah, blah, blah. Endings are hard." Well, maybe they're not. Well, I don't know. Anyway, thing is, they're going to be all right. It's like, if you read a book that ended with that, you'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I don't know if he's writing the books at this point.
It said on the screen when he's typing at the beginning of the episode, when the first one, when they zoomed out, it said Swan Song.
Sure. Okay.
He's writing a Supernatural.
Yes. So
what a bullshit book. I'd be like, fuck you. Like if you got to the end of fucking like Game of Thrones or something. Like, let's imagine a
Yeah,
universe
we
where
get it. The ending of Angel. Yeah.
where he finished it.
Yeah.
But like, imagine you get to the end of one of the books, he goes like, "Oh man, it's really difficult to keep doing this. It might be a few years before another book comes out. Anyway, you know how it is. Targaryens rule. Woo! Peace out." And that was how the book ended. You'd be like, well, that doesn't match the tone of anything. And that's exactly how Chuck writes. He's such a bad goddamn writer.
So as they drive home, Castiel mentions that Michael is gone.
Yeah.
He intends to take charge of heaven now, likely in anarchy without Michael around.
Yeah.
Dean tells Castiel that if he runs into God, to tell him that he's his next target.
Yeah.
Which is but that's crazy. You can't go for God.
No.
Crazy.
And I mean, wisely, this show doesn't go there.
Yeah. Dean tells Castiel that if he runs into God, he's coming for him next. And then Castiel remarks that Dean's just angry.
Yeah, and Dean's like, yeah, of course I'm fucking angry. And then Castiel's like, but like, you got what you wanted. He's like, you didn't want paradise. You didn't want heaven, and you didn't want hell. You just wanted this, and this is what you have. And then he ends with like, be honest. What do you want? Peace or freedom? And Dean thinks about it, and then Cass like disappears in the meantime.
Well, what he says is, yeah, I mean, he's like, he reminds Dean that he got what he desired.
Yeah.
No paradise or hell.
Just said that.
Just more of the same.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Castiel then disappears. Dean leaves Bobby and heads for Lisa's house.
Yeah.
Where, of course.
Yeah. It's the middle of the night. She's like, hey,
I wasn't waiting by the door.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine. I haven't been here since the last time
Go
you
play
came
a
by.
fucking video game, Ben.
Yeah.
What if Dean comes?
Put on your headphones. I told you. You know the plan.
Code Dean. Code Dean.
The Dean, Ben says.
That would be really funny. If he said it all like sassy like that. Is this the Dean?
That was so fucking funny. So once again, we return to Chuck for the final time.
So hang on. I just also want to say, Dean shows up.
Yeah.
She says like, "Oh my God, thank God," because the last time he was there, he's like, "I probably won't be back again, but if I am, then great."
Yes,
and
but
she goes like, "Oh, thank God." And then he goes, "Can I take you up on that beer?" Like a kind of like clever thing. And he walks in and then immediately is like weeping on her shoulder. And again, not only is she like into him romantically and like sexually,
obviously,
but also she's like, "You're a completely broken emotional wreck. I am happy to put my entire family on hold to deal with this."
Yeah, because that's a crazy thing that people don't do.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, just because people do
nobody's
it.
attracted to broken people.
Just because people do it doesn't mean it's not crazy.
I think it's fine.
Jesus.
So we then return once again for the final time to Chuck.
Yeah.
Who smiles as he brings an end to the story, only to state that nothing ever really ends, does it?
Yeah.
He then vanishes into thin air with a smile, wearing a white shirt instead of his usual drab clothing. Outside of Lisa's house.
We'll never pick that thread up.
Yep.
Where did Chuck go?
It's fine. Everything's fine. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
So we then cut to outside Lisa's house, standing under a streetlight, looking upon Lisa's house.
Yeah, we go up to the top of the streetlight. The streetlight kind of like bzz, bzz, out. Inside the house, they're sitting down to dinner.
Yeah.
Dean is like staring at, I've made fun of this. Dean is like staring out a window, like completely disassociated. We see like Ben's head, and then Lisa comes around and goes like, "You okay?" And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, but before she walked over,
Don't fucking touch me.
Ben was just watching this guy he's met once that his mom will not fucking shut up about.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Dean.
he's, I don't know if he's thinking about Korea or like what the fuck is happening.
I was in Korea. Cyclical, baby. It's this podcast.
Yeah, but at any rate, we pan out. They're having dinner. Dean's serving up mashed potatoes and shit. We pan up to the streetlight, and the streetlight kind of bzz, 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 out.
Yeah.
We pan back down.
And who's fucking there?
Who's fucking there? Sam. looking like he didn't receive direction for that shot.
Again.
Yeah.
But
Am I looking at the car driving up again?
though that makes more sense in this context.
I mean, later.
But
You're giving a lot of credit.
I think it was intentional.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
That's the end of the episode. At this point in time,
yeah.
did they still not know that they were going to come
They
back?
did. They found out just as they started like sort of tying up the pieces of this episode.
Sure.
And so that's why
I was wondering if like maybe that's why that tag, because I feel like the Sam tag, it's like you could just leave that out.
I mean, there's more than that. I mean, the whole like some stories like.
Well, I
never
know,
really
but you could
end,
still
yeah.
end a show that way and be like, some stories never end, and you just kind of go like, great, and the show's
Yes.
over. Like,
But I think that there was more stuff that was going to happen.
Right.
Bobby, I think, was actually not supposed to die and get resurrected. Like,
oh, right.
there is a bunch of stuff that was slightly changed because
Sure.
of it.
Probably all the resurrections. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they found out like basically right before, just because the reception was so good from the previous episodes and
Right.
stuff, and so they got picked up for more seasons, and it's partly why Eric Kripke wrote the teleplay, because basically he took the initial sort of story concept and then added a bunch of changes to make it sort of continue on. But
Right.
it was also. Spoiler alert, like kind of his last episode.
Or does that mean that I don't know how these credits work. Does that mean he wrote the first one and then the other person?
No, so
Changed
the story and then
Oh,
it
I
turned
see.
into
Sorry, it was a
teleplay.
story credit and then the teleplay credit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, they this was the end up until they basically
Right.
got to this, and like the studio is like the network is basically who pushed them to
Right.
do more of the show.
Interesting.
And Kripke was like, I did what I
Yeah.
came here to do.
You could do it without me.
Yeah, which I mean, I give him credit to that. I mean,
because he
like,
could have just been like, no.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could have not let them do it. He could have stayed on
Yeah.
and tried to write more of a thing that he didn't.
Or he
have an
could have
idea
left them
for.
in such an impossible position that it would be like that they'd have to spend like a couple of seasons figuring out what the show even is.
But what series would get a couple of seasons? It's not like they have like 10 more seasons left.
No, that would be crazy. Anywho,
So what did you think about the episode?
I really like this episode. I mean, like you said, it fucking moves.
Yeah.
This episode has like a crazy pace. It's got some great effects. It's got some really good scenes and good kind of standoffs and stuff like that. It also has bad standoffs, like, are we ready to do this? And then Lucifer and Michael just slowly walk around to where the other was standing.
Yeah.
There's not even like, wings or like, there's no...
Hey, don't worry. In a few seasons from now, we'll get a big...
I'll be begging for this standoff when we get to whatever season it is, 13 or something. But I forgot about that.
Oh, they learned their lesson. Don't worry. They fixed this problem.
No, it's a great episode. I think the Chuck stuff is pretty schmaltzy.
I love a schmaltz.
I think there's just too much of it. I could.
It probably could have done with maybe one less. Like probably that third one was probably not necessary.
I definitely could have done with one less. I do like that even the car gets to be important in the finale. I like that.
Sure.
I think that sequence of like Lucifer seeing the thing and then like the wind sound and the clips,
fuck.
like that I think is the best of this episode. That is like so good.
Yeah.
Jensen's amazing. Jared generally very strong in this.
Yeah. There's a couple weird looks and stuff.
I like
Mostly
hey
good.
ass butt. Like I even like
yeah.
that in this big thing we have this like moment of
Undercutting it, but for comedy.
silly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the show, right? The show's not just serious.
I say this as a person that loves Dean and Lisa together.
Yeah.
It makes no goddamn sense.
What? That he goes back to her?
They don't know that she is constantly fine with it.
And that also somebody that hot doesn't already have a person.
Yeah, like I can't believe I've never found anybody.
I'm just like you could close your eyes and point in a direction and you'd find somebody. Like
Insane.
yeah.
But at any rate, like whatever, like
Sure.
to give the quote happy ending thing, that's fine. I think it's actually a mistake, even knowing that they have another season coming. It's a mistake to have the Sam thing in there.
Sure.
It would be great to have that as like an early shot in
The next season.
the next season. You'd be like like we know they have to bring Sam back. We go like he's just standing there. Like how long has he been there? What is it? Like
Sure.
I don't know that I need the cliffhanger. I kind of like the season just
Yeah.
doing what it does. Yeah, I love the effect of the cage.
Yeah. The Adam, like Michael.
Yeah,
Fire.
the burning up is so well done.
Yeah.
I really like Lucifer in both Mark Pellegrino and
Yeah.
and Jared Padalecki. I like that just constant reinforcing that thing in his character that he's so sure he's right.
Yeah.
I like a lot of it. It is not a perfect episode. And I think a lot of people, because obviously emotions are tied up with this, think Swan Song is like a perfect episode. And it's not. It's kind of clunky. Some stuff is sort of weird. Some performances are not good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very solid. It really brings it home. It does what it's supposed to do. I think I'm going to give this... I'm going to give it 4.75 rings.
Okay.
Making a key for a cave. If I'm being honest, I'm goosing that number a little bit. I don't actually think it's that high, but I just emotionally am invested in the episode. But if I'm being honest, it's not as good.
Don't be honest. Give it the number you gave it.
I know you disagree with me here. This is not. No, I gotta be true.
No.
I gotta be true to it. The
No.
highest I could give this is 4.5.
No.
4.5 rings coming together as a key sort of thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's a good score. I like this episode. It's good. You're fucking lying to yourself if you think this is a 5.
No.
The performances, like, alone take it back from that.
The good performances in this, when it is good, it is some of the best acting we've seen in this show. I think that that Dean getting beat up thing is my favorite moment in the series.
He's good in it, but there are better Dean performances than that.
It's the thing that resonates with me more than any other scene I've ever seen.
See, this is the thing. I maybe overstated my opinion on it the first time through, where I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
But I still like, it's not, there are other episodes of Supernatural that like get me.
I know, we'll get there.
And this one is not one of them. This one isn't even top 10.
This is my number one.
That's crazy. This is your number one Supernatural episode?
No, the scene is my number one scene.
That's even crazier.
I don't think I can choose one specific episode to be my number one, but it's in the top 3 for sure. I can have a different opinion. Yours isn't the only one.
That doesn't sound right.
I love Mark Pellegrino in this episode.
Of course.
I mean, he's always incredible. I think this is just like more of him being so good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Jared largely is really good in this.
Yeah.
I think that that he is doing a really good job, like not being like you. It's sometimes easy to be able to go like, oh God, Jared's bad, but maybe like Sam is bad.
there is definitely an element of that, especially in like the Gollum scenes
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you get both of them and you go like, oh, maybe the problem is Sam.
Yeah, I think like that's how he's playing Sam, and Sam sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I think that like if Sam shuts his mouth, he's great, but like sometimes Sam sucks, and I think that he's does such a good job playing those two halves. I really really like that. Yeah, Michael Adam is
Definitely the weakest
part
individual
of this.
performance.
And really, it's just that one scene where he comes back that I can't. It's
That's really bad. But also, again, it's those pickups, like them when they have to stand and watch, or where they like walk around.
I've
each
never
other.
noticed it.
Even him like walking up where he's like, "Yep, hey Lucifer," like, Jesus, God, do anything more interesting.
I did not. I've never noticed that part before. Maybe now I will in a rewatch. But I mean, fucking Bobby, like, but watching Bobby be like completely like, oh, it's over.
Yeah,
and with the welling up in his eyes, a thing that didn't need to be in that part, that response of just being like, we gave it our best shot. Like, like there was never any hope really. Anyways, like, fuck, that's so good. I love nihilistic Castiel.
yeah.
Let's just drink ourselves stupid.
Yeah.
Like him that fucking hey ass butt. I mean,
Great,
one of the best moments of Castiel. Period.
truly incredible.
That I mean, I can't like I rarely get choked up from TV, and this episode gets me every single I can jump in cold. I can watch a YouTube video of it, and it gets me. My opinion's valid. My feelings are valid, and guess what? It reigns with the rest of the audience as well.
I know, and I think everyone's wrong.
So I
think you're all a bunch of weak ass nerds.
Yeah, we'll talk about when you get choked up, all right? Because I know the episode that's coming.
Do you?
I know the one that gets you.
Well, one of the ones.
I know the one though, the one that you put above this.
Wait,
talked about it.
Wait, hang on. I want to I want to see what you think it is right now.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're on the similar page. Yeah. Okay. All right, fine. Point to you.
But also, I think our life experiences, it makes more sense which thing's more reactive to you, and I can see why one would be maybe hit a little bit more.
I refuse to self-examine with that level of detail.
I mean, isn't that the truth? So, I am giving this 5.
4.5?
5 out of a possible 2 towers.
You can't give it 2.5 9/11s. God damn it.
So, those were our reviews.
Yes.
Just a final note on that. This is the highest rated episode of the entire series at a 9.7 rating with 8,000 plus voters. It's tied with the episode Changing Channels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, Changing Channels is very good. Surprises me that those are the two. Interesting.
I mean, look, everyone, like, for the most part, a general consensus of the fan bases is that keep listening to this podcast, but the first 5 seasons are known to be the best of the series. I don't necessarily fully agree with that.
I don't agree with that, but I know what you're saying. Yes.
So it makes sense that of those, I think these are the 2 best episodes.
Sure, yeah.
So, before we go, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
All right.
So, they go on to say, hello, R&R. Huh. Whoa. I didn't even realize.
It's like we're brothers.
Yeah. Just wanted to say I love you guys and the podcast. Ever since catching up on all the episodes, I'm disappointed I have to wait a week in between now. Fair. Maybe you'll pay a few bucks and not have to wait that long.
We're over promising.
You guys were asking about You guys were asking about shingles last episode, so I thought my story was relevant.
Ooh.
I'm not a doctor, nor have I Googled anything, but
Good start. Love where this is going.
but I have a few theories. Starts with the
But
lizard
my
people.
heart tells me that this is what shingles is.
But when I was very young, around 5 or 6, 3 out of 5 people in my house got chickenpox. My dad had it when he was a kid, and despite sharing a room with patient 0, my sister, I never seemed to get it. Fast forward several years, and I'm getting these little round rashes of dried skin in several places. The doctor said that I had shingles, and that it comes after you've had chickenpox, and usually in adults, but not always, which meant I had gotten the chickenpox virus earlier, but was asymptomatic.
Ooh, interesting.
We all thought this was weird, but I thought I was the luckiest boy on the planet because I got to miss a week of 5th grade.
Right.
Love both your podcasts. They are both 5-star and can't wait for Lord of the Rings coming this October, hopefully.
Ooh, probably more like November. But yes, it is. It is coming, yeah.
Shit, if we get to those reviews.
First of all, that's the other podcast. Secondly, fuck you.
Signed, Draco Folly.
Thank you, Draco Folly.
Love that.
That's awesome.
So good. That's chickenpox.
Interesting.
If you want to continue this conversation about chickenpox, shingles,
Obviously.
or obviously how incredible this episode is, you can join our incredible online forum.
Do you know what?
on
If you want
Patreon.
what you know what I want? I want you to send your favorite sandwich segment memory.
It's been a long...
When a glint of light hits my car and I'm reminded that I'm
You're seeing the piece of sandwich in your back seat.
there's a bit of sandwich crammed into the cup holder. What are the scenes that I see in the montage?
Uh-huh.
Except instead of wind sounds, it's just
Yeah. Ugh.
yeah.
I'm not
Send those
gonna...
to the following.
Yeah. Our Patreon.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Patreon.com/ghostfacers. For only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio. It's our amazing community Discord server. Everyone there is so lovely, amazing people. I know they won't let me down. They'll send me their favorite sandwich segment memories. And yeah, it helps us support us. But yeah, we chat Supernatural. We chat like other stuff. We chat about chickenpox and shingles. It's a fun like debrief from
Talk about deep, dark trauma from our past and childhood.
something for everyone.
Also, if you have a note about a future episode or want to just say hello, you can send us an email to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
That's right. We're at Ghostfacerspod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you get the podcast, and make sure that you give us a 5-star review while you're on there.
That's
Helps
right.
us out. And if it's not on Apple Podcasts, just make sure to take a screenshot and send it over to us. Also, we've got merch. If you want to, for the limited time, get some more sandwich segment shirts.
Hell yeah.
Make sure to go to ghostfacerspodcaststore.com. And you can buy that stuff there. Also, we've talked about it a couple times in this episode, but we have another podcast.
That's right. The Dr. DC podcast. We talk about DC Comics and the lore of superheroes and their powers and their stories and how that stuff works.
And if we're offensive over here, we're even more offensive over there.
I mean, I've never rated a comic 2.5 9/11s on that show. So I don't know.
Surprised not.
It's kind of taking well, I know there's one I would. I think about it. Really think about it.
Why is it always me? It's not fair.
Sorry for the 9/11 jokes.
Stop saying sorry. It makes it less funny every time. Just saving your ass, dragging me to the bottom.
You're saving my ass?
No, you're trying to save your own ass.
Yeah. Oh, am I not supposed to be doing that?
Boom, 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 boom. Mustache. That's a big ass dick.
Tartar sauce.
That's the end for this week. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
American
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.